Hi guys, welcome back to 14s because we are 14s and this podcast is 14s.
Moo. Moo.
I'm Gloria.
I'm Isabella.
I'm Lauren. That was our animal noise for the series. It's an inside joke. Go.
Didn't have to interrupt me.
It's interrupting cow.
You didn't say
Rude.
that though.
Rude. But I mooed.
Defeats the point of the joke. Okay.
I just wanted to interrupt you. Let me be.
Today is the last episode of the Dear Blank series, and it is Dear School System, Education System, School, whoever be making.
Oh wait, what?
It's to them.
I was combing my hair. I didn't look like a dog anymore.
You just look like a trimmed dog.
Freshly groomed puppy.
So
we either need to get rid of homework or have like a rule. Like for one sheet of paper, you get like 15 minutes in class, or it can't be homework or something like that. Because my Isaac, his teacher played Heads Up 7-Up the entire class. And
No,
I'm
told
so
me that.
jealous.
And I
all
was
the
sitting
work-
there in biology like, bruh.
all the work they had to do in class, they had to do at home because the teacher played Heads Up 7-Up, which like is fun in the moment, but like there's no rule against that. You can play a game every single day in class and just get assigned a bunch of homework. So
I know.
I'm down.
Like, I'm kind of fine with that, to BH.
well, then at that point, I wouldn't even want to go to school if I'm teaching myself at home. Might as well just do online.
But I'd rather
I mean-
play the game.
Dear educational system, school system, dear schools, which also addresses like the school board and like all that jazz. Okay.
You're smart people.
Dear math teachers, know more about just math and whatever thing you coach. Like, stop making your only personality. I teach math. I coach this. Like, whenever you can't relate to you can't relate to any of your students. Whenever your students talk to you about it, like, this is why nobody likes math teachers. Because math teachers will be like, I know about math and I know about football because I coach football, but I don't know about anything else. So I can only relate to kids who like math and kids who like football.
My math teacher coaches the skiing team.
There's a skiing team.
There's a skiing?
Yeah.
With what snow?
I don't really know. Maybe they go to like Colorado or something.
They travel.
Yeah,
Oh.
probably.
It's only in the months of December through February. My science teacher is the wrestling coach. But then my history teacher, he doesn't coach anything. And my choir teacher, he doesn't coach anything.
We are going to talk now. It's my turn. And I want to address, why are we enforcing dress code but not mask wearing?
I
I
thought
feel like
we
if
knew.
you care about the shoulders and the knees showing, care about the noses showing as well. Because
For the nose, like you covered them knees.
so please, or like the people who aren't even trying to pretend they're wearing one, like it's down their chin, but you're like, miss.
Also,
let me count the
yeah.
centimeters. How many centimeters long is this here tank top? Because you gotta
Schools.
abide by the fingers rule and just fix the masks first. Thank you.
Teachers, you don't have to pull on your mask to talk to us.
We can hear you.
Hear you.
Wait, no.
Okay, Haley, was that yours or?
No, mine's a bit more serious, I guess.
Do tell.
Schools, you need to. I know you try to do the stop bullying, the stop, all that. But you need to take reports of bullying more seriously than you do. And you need to really listen to a student when they come and they tell you that other students have been calling them things or hurting them, or because a lot of schools just think about physical violence, physical bullying, which, that's around still, but it's not as around as like mental tormenting. So
Well, our school like won't expel kids. There's a kid who raped a girl and he still goes to school.
yeah, and they don't really listen to reports of like homophobia or anything or racism very well. So just like fix that. Okay? Fix it. No excuse. Fix it.
To follow up Haley's very serious one, I'm gonna give one that's equally as serious, but not really. Okay. The way like that our classes count for credits is so stupid. Like there's a weights class, which you literally go into a weight room and like lift weights for an hour. Doesn't count as a gym credit. There's a dance class, it doesn't count as a gym credit, but if you do dance outside of school, it counts as a gym credit. Then for like our business credits, AP computer science counts as a business credit. Digital applications and finance are all business credits. But the class called small business is not a business credit. Why like do things work the way they do? This is a little stupid in my opinion. And like randomly they'll be like, this English class is an English class, but it doesn't count for an English credit.
Oh yeah.
They're
classes
full
that are
year.
full. They only count for half. Like
Yeah, there are full year classes that count for like, so you get a credit for each semester you take a class. There are full year classes that count as one credit, not two. Why? And they're AP, so they're college. Why are they? I don't understand. I really don't understand how like who made these rules. On to the next.
Isabella.
Okay. I'm going to be talking to students a little bit right now. Please understand that your teachers are humans too. This maybe comes from like the fact that both my parents are teachers, but like maybe don't email your teachers at 2 a.m. Gloria. Maybe.
Okay, I don't understand. They don't get the notification till they wake up, so I don't get the problem.
Most good teachers have their email notifications on.
Their computer's shut. Or their computer's at school.
They can have no teachers leave their computer at school, and they can have their email on their phone.
I wake up to so many notifications that I just slept through.
Listen, all I'm saying,
my intention is not to wake my teachers up. Like I'm not like, I'm just like, oh, I need to send this email. It's the only time I have time, and I do it.
Treat your, not what I said, just like understand that your teachers are like humans. I mean, you see them out in public, like you can say hello.
That teachers this year have taken on legit twice the workload. Can you kind of take that into consideration? Can we have some respect that when you're asking them to do this, this, and that, they have to do it twice for the kids online and for the kids in person. So just kind of calm down and thank them for doing extra work with like not getting raises or anything for it.
Don't be entitled.
Yeah.
Your teachers don't owe you anything but like assignments and grades.
True.
Like obviously like not like it's better, but like obviously it's amazing when teachers like make the Quizlet for you.
Well, that's to the school board too that just keeps piling stuff on them. Like they've had to deal with the same amount of schedule changes that the students and teachers have been hit really hard because every 2 weeks we get a new schedule basically. Like we haven't been on the same, okay, everybody comes on Monday, you switch off on Tuesdays and you do the second bell schedule with the A launch and the second smart period, but you don't have to come if you're virtual. Like there's so much that they've changed. I have the notes in my phone where I like keep the schedule and I haven't deleted them. I've just scrolled up. And so now I like can scroll for miles on how many different bell schedules we've had. It's just a lot to handle for both students and teachers. So that's just kind of a PSA of be considerate. Or if people's grades are falling, it would be like, I guess it's my suggestion that if a teacher is listening, if you're a good teacher, you're probably already doing this, but grading with a little bit of leniency this year doesn't mean you're letting your kids slack. It means you're letting them have space to breathe.
Let's talk about breakout rooms. Don't. Just simply don't. I know you understand. I know you think you understand and you're like, oh my God, these kids don't get to see anybody. Let's put them in a breakout room. No. they're miserable and they cause so much anxiety. Just don't flip and do it.
I think if they open them and you can pick your own, they're fine.
Yes, I agree.
You're not encouraging collaboration. You're forcing.
No, it's not even forced. They're unencouraging it because we just don't speak.
Yeah.
I would have such educated conversations if I was with like the 4 friends I have in that class. Like obviously, yeah, there'll be some talk about like what happened yesterday on our text, but like if it's me and 4 kids I don't know, we're all gonna sit there muted, or I'm gonna try and talk and no one's gonna reciprocate. So it works better if you know the person.
I agree. I also think that if you're going to put us in breakout rooms, you should put us into breakout rooms with something to talk about, because I know teachers that will just be like, just work on this assignment in the breakout room. Don't do that. Be like, hey,
Nobody will unmute.
just like, be like, hey, answer this question in the breakout room, and then I'm going to call on people whenever they come back. Like that's what my English teacher does. She like my English teacher like assigns a leader to the breakout room, and then they like lead the conversation. Then she comes back and she calls on like everyone in the class to talk about like what we talked about in the breakout room. So it kind of forces you to talk.
Okay, here's a little piece of insight for the people who don't go in breakout rooms because maybe they're not students or maybe their school doesn't do it, whatever. So it is kind of this unagreed upon or universally just known fact that even if the teacher doesn't assign a leader, the first person to talk is the one doing everything.
Mm-hmm.
And usually it's me because I'm that person. But if it's somebody else, like even being the person I am that likes to lead and likes to have conversation and just is kind of ready to get the schoolwork done, you know, even if somebody else speaks first, you best know I'm not speaking.
I speak first unless I'm having a bad day. Then I'm like, they'll fend for themselves, and then they don't. And I'm mindful
Yeah,
of that.
same, Gloria. Like I go first, but if somebody else goes first, fine.
No. I would be like, I'm having a bad day. Someone else can handle it, and then no one does. But okay. After 2 minutes, you can't speak. You can't speak after 4 minutes of staring at each other. You just done.
It's
But personal breakout rooms are good. Those are the goat.
I hate individualized breakout rooms. They're horrible.
They just tell you to do your math. You can turn your camera off, mute yourself, turn on your Netflix show, and do the math assignment just like if you weren't on the Zoom. It gives you
No, I would so much rather them just be like, just leave. Like it's
like my teacher gives us an assignment like at the beginning-ish of class, and there's still 40 minutes. So we have to come back. I'd rather be in a breakout room for 30. It's like you're not on a Zoom because you can mute it and it gives you a 30-second pop-up. It's like you got to be prepared, and then you like take off your robe.
There's the fear of like them just coming into your breakout room, because like my teachers will put us into individualized breakout rooms and then be like, yeah, I can pop in at any moment. And sometimes they do pop in and other times they don't. And it's awful.
My teachers don't do that. You leave the breakout room if you have a question. That's why I like them, because I'm legit alone for like.
No, it's horrible.
If there's an opportunity to let the kids off, just do it. Like,
yeah, they'll appreciate it.
Obviously, if you have work to be done, don't get pressured into like, oh, we'll do it tomorrow, let us off early. But like, if you're like, work on this assignment for the rest of class, silently, let us off. Why are we still here? Just be like respectful of life in general, like not just of teachers. Obviously, respect teachers. I don't know. I would be walking down the hallway. There's be people being full on jerks. And I'm like, can you just not? Put your mask up. Stop hitting him. Stop hitting her. Stop pushing each other like into another person. Just like walk in the hallway, get to your class. If you're laughing and having fun with your friend, whoop-de-doo. But like, just don't be like an inconvenience and just be a jerk.
Yeah, don't be a jerk. It's not hard.
Okay. Let's see. If any superintendents are listening, or anyone with any power in the school board, I don't recommend sending out an email telling your teachers not to support Black Lives Matter actively in the classroom. I don't recommend doing that.
It doesn't end well.
It does not end well. I don't recommend doing that.
No, maybe you're gonna get people that say you should resign. You're gonna have to send out an email 2 days later, basically going against everything you just said and making yourself look really unreliable and just dumb.
It's stupid. You're gonna have teachers pissed off. You're gonna have students pissed off. You're gonna have faculty pissed off. You're gonna have principals of high schools pissed off. Cough cough, my principal. So yeah, I recommend just if you have any power in the school board, don't send out an email telling your teachers not to actively support Black Lives Matter in there.
Everybody was mad.
Oh,
That was an interesting school day.
if you want to know about it, there's a Time article about it, everybody. So I'm sure you could find it.
Oh yeah, it was on the news. It was big.
Yeah, there's an article written in Time magazine about it.
Our friend made a petition that was like, let teachers
like,
talk about
On like change.org.
BLM on signed petition or whatever. And he got asked to interview on like local news channels and things. It was big. Because he
And
got
like
so many signatures.
people make stupid petitions all the time. Didn't we make one to like not make us have school on the day after Halloween?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not like obviously that's not as big as like Black Lives Matter, but like we make a lot of petitions.
And people who say like kids aren't doing anything, the amount of petitions that have been made.
My
Okay.
advice for everybody today is work on time management and actually know what's going on, because then you'll end up like me if you don't. So just, have fun, but also be aware of life.
I love it. Okay, guys, due to busy teenager schedules, these episodes are kind of being filmed in different days. So, we are back. And if the order is different or we start in a different place, sorry. But we're just going to hop back right in with our dear school system.
You suck. Thanks for listening.
I think, so you know how excused absences are like doctor's appointments or family death, like death in the family, things like that. I think there should be, and it's not unlimited. I think you should get maybe 2 per semester or something like that, but mental health days. So where you can call in and you don't have to have your parent make up an excuse. Oh yeah, she has like this weird headache and she's just going to stay home today. Just be mental health day. And you don't get a lot, but they're excused absences because people can't abuse them. That turns into something else. But because, especially once I don't know if elementary kids necessarily would need that. Most of them have more fun at school than at home, but maybe they do. I don't know. So definitely in high school and probably in junior high, and the other 2, I don't even know. But that's just, I think you should get a limited number, but you don't have to have your dad call and make up some fake illness.
I could have sworn they had that.
What?
I could have sworn they had mental health days.
I agree. Yep. I agree.
If they're not a thing, then I agree. I have one, but am I going to F up the order?
It's fine. Just go ahead.
Okay. Before you make like a rule or like a new way of doing things, think to yourself, does this make sense? Really like look in the mirror, because like I get it. We need math. We need like reading. I'm not the person who's like, we should be able to stop math in 8th grade because you don't eat, like not that. But like we have this for the last period of the day, they make us dismiss in 3 groups, all 3 minutes apart. So like one group goes at 57, one goes at 2, and one goes at 2:03, which is like, oh, they don't want the hallways to be crowded. But during every other passing period, everyone lets go at the same time. So period 1 through 4, in between it and before every class, I walk in the hallway with 7 people getting shoved. But when it's time to leave, I have to leave 6 minutes later than everyone else just because. That doesn't make sense. People are like, they want less crowding.
They sent out an email that's not happening anymore.
It's not.
Mm-mm.
Period.
Gloria changed the school systems.
So I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. It's just a waste of bells. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of like teachers trying to remember what group they are. Just let us leave. There are like other examples. I just can't really think. Oh, smart period. At the end of the day, we have 45 minutes in like a classroom that's like technically a study hall, but like multiple people don't have desks. Like
Yeah, mine's in the band
desk.
room.
I'm in like the kitchen of the like home ec classroom. So we just have chairs. And like we have sea lunch. So me and Lauren go to lunch. Would be great to just leave the school after I've just eaten, or just leave the school after the last period and then eat at home. But no,
Yeah, we
have to
both
sit
bring our
back-
lunch, so it's not like we're using.
Yeah, so we gotta go sit in a classroom for 45 minutes, and you're not allowed to leave early. If you have a car, you can't leave. It makes no sense.
Also, it's not even our only smart period. We have one earlier in the morning that's shorter, and sometimes they throw in some social emotional learning curriculum.
I would rather just have a full like hour-long class that's a mandatory study hall, and then my actual study hall could become a real class, and I could take business. Like day solved. I don't understand.
I
'Cause
agree.
the problem is it's at the end of the day.
Yeah.
If it was fifth period, like, okay, I get it, but like, no, you could leave, but you're not allowed to. What is
Yeah.
this?
It's really weird because what are we doing sitting in the school that we can't be doing sitting at our house?
These are great points. You guys should come up with the next school curriculum.
See,
Honestly.
kids are smarter than adults. We're the ones actively in school.
I know, I'm sure a lot of things sound great on paper, but then you put them in the schools and the kids are like, what the frick?
Well, like I think I'm very much a realist, so I'm not the person who's like, we should have ice cream in between every class. But I feel like asking to not have a pointless period at the end of the day and have teachers, bus drivers, and students go home 45 minutes early is not unreasonable.
Agreed.
Oh,
Also, oh, it's not my turn. I have one for my next one.
okay. Y'all, dear school systems, dear blah, 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 dear whatever, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Ew. Don't not just because, okay, so there's this whole new like initiative to do project-based learning. I love project-based learning. Give me project-based learning. Math teachers, I'm talking to you. Just because you have done something the same way for 20 years it's okay to change it up a little bit. It's okay to change it up. If you realize that kids are thriving in their English and history classes with project-based learning, maybe you should figure out a way to make math project-based. You figured out how to make it boring-based for so long. You should be able to make it project-based. The end.
I did like a tessellation project and that's it.
I've had math projects, but they're like probably when I was younger, and they were like,
They're weird.
because like you can't really make a PowerPoint. Like I added 2 and 2, I got 4. Then I added 4 and 3 and got 7. And then I added those together and got
Like, so
11.
my math teacher, we do like application projects, and it's quite fun. Like, whatever we're learning, he'll take it and we'll put like a movie together. Or he'll like take a movie and we'll relate it back to the movie. And it's quite, you know.
How do you? I would like to see how that works.
I was unconfused and now I'm confused again, part 2.
Alrighty, Haley.
I don't really have much to say because I'm not in school right now.
You could talk about like the virtual because that's a big thing. Like, what should they improve about virtual?
I think our school does kind of a, I guess, good job at virtual. I think we shouldn't have like, maybe they should give us a little bit of a break in a class period when we're sitting at a screen for like 6 hours a day, I guess, because some kids get really bad migraines from the screen. Me. And I think maybe they could give us a little bit of a break, I guess.
Maybe this is just one of you can explain it to me. But why does the school day end at 2, but extracurriculars aren't allowed to start until 2:45?
Oh,
Meetings.
that's because teachers have contract time until 2:45.
What's
But
contract
if they
time?
Are just why would you like have a mandatory time, because it makes them have to go home later. Because if they need 3 hours of their rehearsal, they can't start it until 2:45. They have to stay until 5:45 instead of being able to leave at 5, you know?
Well, so the thing is that teachers have like, just like we have to be at school for certain hours of day throughout the day, teachers have to be at school, like they're contracted certain hours, right? So like in their contracted states, up blah blah blah. So from 2 to 2:45, they required to stay after school.
So
I mean,
but
they
if
probably
they're
get so
gonna
many.
stay after anyway.
Well, they probably get.
Why are they not allowed to be helping with
Because
their
they're supposed to be doing like meetings, and they're supposed to be doing like PT time or like PD time.
I feel like it's wasting their time. And all of our time, because we're just sitting in the CCA. So yeah, I don't know if that was like a dear schools. It was more just like, this could be done better to where we're not wasting everybody's time.
Unpopular opinion, but I think everybody's face needs to be on the Zoom. I agree with the teachers.
Interesting. Well,
Because,
Elaborate.
like, no one listens to my math teacher because she legit is like her first year ever teaching, and she's like young and pretty and like 21. And like I in person listening to her be like, June, Bob, Samuel, are you here? And like they're like asleep, and we're like, I get it. Like I'm tired too. I go to bed super late. Like half of it's my fault. I know. Like I get it. You're tired, but like not like if we have to come to school, so do you. But like if you were going to school, you'd wake up. And like I've fallen asleep in person and on Zooms. Like again, I get it, but I've never fallen deep. I've just like, and no one's ever noticed. So like I feel really bad for the teachers because they don't want to get fired for their students not learning. So like,
I agree. Everyone should show their face.
and like you have to show your face like in person, which you've been going for the past however long years of your life. So I don't really, like, you can't make this excuse like I'm insecure because like you look like that. Sorry, not sorry. You can put on some makeup, I guess, or like put on a hoodie. But like, I don't know. I feel really bad for all my teachers trying to like wake up all their students.
Yeah.
Or just like get some like class participation. And like in Spanish class, ain't nobody know what she's talking about. Like I get that because you physically can't class participate. But like when she asks what's 4 divided by 2, we all know the answer, just no one feels like speaking up. So like just be present.
Isabella has to go for a second. Haley, would you like to take her place and we can do hers?
For the career I'm going into, I'm not going to need to know half the things I'm learning right now.
Yeah. What are your opinions? This can help maybe on how the schools prepare us for a career life.
They don't. They do not. They say they are, but they're not preparing you for your like actual career life. Like if we look at France schooling, it's kind of, I guess, you take quizzes and you find out where you are on the spectrum in the school, and they place you in classes. You're not at equal classes. You're not in honors, so you can be in honors, but you are on your own little special branch for things, depending on how you do on different things, you know? If you're not a school kid, okay, they'll put you in like mechanical classes or something. You're a kid who's good at English, okay, they'll focus and center your learning on English. If you're a kid who's good at math, they'll do that. I feel like at some point it becomes kind of redundant for all of us to be taking math, English, science, social studies, because half of us aren't going to ever use that again in our lives.
Well,
and I
then
feel
there's
like it should be more specialized towards you instead of more specialized as the whole of the school trying to get a better grade.
But then you're gonna get the like people complain about whatever you do. So you're gonna get the parents that are like, or kids who are like, I don't even get the chance to learn science because I'm bad at science. They won't let me. And like, I do think it's important, like English and math especially. But like, I feel like knowing social studies, it doesn't really come in handy, but like, I don't know. I feel like it's a useful thing somewhere down the line.
No, I'm just saying, by the time we're sophomores, we're gonna be sophomores. If we don't have an idea what we're good at and have an idea, that's the whole point of life, isn't it though? that, oh, I don't even have the chance to learn this, but as soon as you get out in the real world outside of school and you're not good at something, oh baby, everybody's gonna know. If you're trying to go into that field and you're not good at it, everybody's gonna know. So I think the point of life is we don't always get what we want, and we have to focus on what we're good at and say goodbye to things we aren't. Everybody always says, work hard enough and you'll be good at it. That's not true. That's not true.
I think it is true though.
I think there's a
don't-
difference
it's
between like there's
not.
things that you're naturally talented at, and there's things that like there's skills that are purely time based. Really, nobody has an advantage at them. It's just who chooses to sit down and spend the most time doing it. And then there's things that aren't natural and aren't time based that are kind of so they're like only. I think there's things that like you can be naturally gifted at and it helps you be better at them. There's things that you just have to be naturally gifted at to like succeed.
Yeah, I
in,
mean,
and
you
there's
can
things
work at
that aren't
something and get better at it, but
and there's
if
things that you
I can
just
get better
aren't
at it, but my better will never be as good enough as the person who's extremely good at it.
Well,
And
even
instead of trying to compete with that person, why don't I find my thing that I'm extremely good at? Instead of wasting
even the
my
things
time.
you're good at, there's always going to be someone better. So
Yeah,
can, like-
exactly. So I don't understand why we wouldn't just try to find our things instead of all trying to
the
conform to be
reality
as good
is
as one thing.
Because the reality of you being the best at what
I'm not saying be the best. I'm
like there's
saying
always going to be someone that's better than you at every single thing, and I think that school in that way does prepare you for that.
I don't think it prepares you for a career that you actually want
it doesn't
to
prepare
do.
you for a career perfectly because America is stupid. But like, I don't think learning like the things you're good at when you have a job that has some slightly other thing, you're gonna be so caught off guard.
I wish
If you
they
never
offered us more insight. Maybe they do as we get older. It's just like freshmen into finding career paths because like the career path that I now am kind of interested in, they didn't tell us, so I didn't know about it until late this year, and by that time it was already too late because I would have had to take some of the prerequisite classes as a freshman and I didn't know about it, so I couldn't. So I think it needs to be easier. Like I can't take the Long Gov Academy now.
I really don't think you'd want to be a lawyer.
Well, I wanted to try the academy and like job shadow and do things like that to see because I've blown through all my other plans right now. So that's the one that's like leading me right now.
Well,
And I could
like,
change my mind, but now I don't even have the chance to explore that academy.
It doesn't
I'll have to
matter.
go to
It
college.
doesn't
I feel like you
matter in
don't
high
do a
school.
lot of like deep research, and I'm not trying to like come for you or anything like that, but like your two top picks have been law and engineering. Like I feel like we all only know like 6 jobs.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna bring.
And
My
I-
next point is they all tell us to like be doctors or like lawyers and such, but we don't think about the more civil service jobs that there are. Like
I
people
don't
are going
think
to
they
have to
tell us to
become
be doctors and lawyers.
grocery baggers,
think-
and they tell us to, like they don't explain the fact of jobs that don't require extreme education for them.
well, okay, I'm gonna disagree with you there. Like, I think that they do, and I think that as education has grown over the past few years, like we have actually learned more about more like civil service jobs than other jobs. But we also have to remember that they expect that high school is not the highest level of education. Like the way that the education system was built, college is supposed to prepare you for your career. And not knowing what you want to do at the age of 15, that's okay.
What I'm saying is that so I know that there's more jobs out there than like the 3 I've looked into. But the reason I've looked into these is because number one, I had a genuine interest in them and like I had fun doing things that were related to it. And through law, like for law, I got a really good insight into that through mock trial because I would go through the trial process on a daily basis.
Well, that seems fun, but when you're trying to keep like
No.
a single mother with an alcohol problem from like her child, like that is not gonna be fun for you. And like they do tell us about jobs that don't need higher
So
education.
listen, I'm not saying
in-
that. What I'm saying is that I wanted the opportunity to do the Long Gov Academy, but
because I don't want to go to college and figure out that I hate that and then have paid $60 or not $60,000. And so I wanted opportunities to like kind of dip my toe in things, but you can't do that in high school. Like they don't give you that opportunity. You have to go all in.
Because I think you're supposed to, I don't know. But I'm saying they do tell us about cheaper like jobs that need less education. But in all honesty, we're all freaking greedy because like I've talked like no, not saying anything about like anyone's job, but like I've talked to all my friends and they're like, I'm not doing that job. You know, that doesn't make 7 figures. Like people, all of the like people, and also we're in the advanced classes. They don't want us to go become a plumber. Like, no offense to any plumbers, but like the school has such a high standard of us because we are in these high classes. And like all the people, not all the people, but a lot
But
of people.
I'm not smart. That's the thing. We could be
Yes,
in
you
our
are,
high
Haley.
classes, but I'm not
Yes, you
as
are, Haley.
smart
You are
as other
smart.
people, and I would not be able to make it in a field that that requires me to rely on my academic standings. Because
No one says you
I'm
have
not
to.
that
I'm
smart.
just
I'm
saying
just
the people,
saying
the people
that
I
I
know
feel
take
like
their jobs because they say the jobs that don't need education don't make as much money as they want to. So you can have any job you want to, and the school will 100% support that. But they're gonna give the like harder jobs that need academics to the people in advanced academics because it makes sense.
So,
Why are they
like,
gonna?
we get a lot of that narrative.
Yeah, why are they
that's
gonna tell
weird because
Billy
I
with a
feel-
C in biology to become a doctor? Like that doesn't work. So he's gonna tell you
Yeah.
who has an A in biology. Like.
I just feel like it's kind of, I guess, stressful to be in high school and to think that you have to determine your career now and determine what your career is based on your grades.
And we hear all the time, you don't have to know what you're doing now. But the
But
fact
that's
is,
not true.
I thought like, hey, I thought engineering might be fun. And it was like a difficult process to switch out of it because it's a 4-year pathway. Like you're in and you're not supposed to be able to drop a year-long class. I got really lucky that my counselor let me. And so I couldn't just like see, it was really, it's they don't set it up to where you can just see if this is something you're interested in and then back out. It's supposed to be a commitment. It's supposed to be a 4-year thing. Same with all the academies, like the business, the law, like all of those. They're supposed to be things you start your freshman year and you continue working towards in your senior year. And that works out great for the people who know what they want to do since 7th grade. But the school system isn't set up for the people who don't know what they want to do. As much as they say you don't have to have things figured out yet, you don't have to know where you're going to college, but then we have to decide if we're taking ACP or AP classes, and one of them applies to in-state, one of them applies to all, so like we have to make decisions based on what we want to do with our future, even though we don't know. And they say that's fine to not know. And I truly believe it is, but I also believe there's things in this school system that are keeping us from, like we have to take guesses as to what we want to do.
Well, like I feel like that's life. You take risks. If you don't know if you want to be part of like this company or this company, you gotta like kind of figure it out. And like I do agree that like the big pathways, there is no like shorter option. Like I'm not gonna disagree with you there. I just think like a lot of the pressure and stuff like we put on ourselves, and like I guess the school like almost like is built so that we put it on ourselves, but like no one said you had to pick a job off of academics, Haley. Like I think not like you put that in your own brain, but like from what has been said, you like inferred that, like I don't think any teacher will care if you get a job in whatever you want. They're just going to advertise the like higher job because they don't want to see their students struggling. They want to see their students as engineers, architects, whatever the frick. So like I don't think no one has a problem with what you end up doing. They're going to market the highest possible.
Well, nobody's saying that you have to have what you're doing right now figured out, but then you look at your class schedule and you're expected to make a 4-year plan.
No, I
So
agree
you're
with
just kinda
that.
like, wait a second.
That like is kind of confusing. But I think for most people who aren't aiming to law or engineering or medical science, it's easier because like you can take an art class for a semester, and then you can take a science class, and then you can take like the small animals class, like veterinarianism, and then you can take like I think it's just like those 3 big branches that have that like big issue that you can't get out of it. But like I think there is somewhat of an ability to try things, and half of it is like out of school because there are like clubs and camps and whatever the heck that like like I have friends that they go to insert college every summer, and they've like been doing veterinarian camp since they were in like 6th grade, so like they got that from outside of school, and like technically you don't have to. I'm just saying like there are options. I don't know. I agree that it is like we don't have to have everything figured out, but the school is set up that we should. But also, like,
That's a good way of putting it. Like, they tell us, they're not putting any pressure on us verbally to figure things out. They're like, yo, we're here.
systematic pressure.
But yeah, you look into these kind of details and you're like, wait, so I'm expected to choose right now if the classes I'm taking are going to only apply to in-state colleges or out-of-state colleges. Huh.
And I
I
think
thought I
half
didn't
of
have to
that-
know what college I was going to, you know?
half of that is like the decision-making skill of a job, because like,
Yeah, you have to make decisions, but also we're not informed enough as freshmen, or they haven't, I don't know, to decide where we're going to college if we don't know what job we want. There's kind of things that are like, wait, we haven't figured this out yet. How are we supposed to have this figured out? That was a good topic.
that was
Forget whose advice that was.
hashtag school episode got deep.
Anyway, you're like, okay, I don't really know who this is geared towards, but like, you know it's you. Actually, it's geared towards teachers that go, no one's ever passed this test on the first try.
Why'd you give it to me?
Why are you giving me the test then? Isn't your goal as a teacher to make us want to pass, for us to ace your class? Or they go, I don't give out A's, you earn A's. Oh my God, you are not the Pope.
Why was the Pope your option?
I don't know.
I'm loving how our AP World teacher, this goes along with Isabella's, she's like, this is better than normal. Our class average, 72%. I'm really impressed, you guys.
Well, the AP World test is 60% of people pass it.
Yeah, but if your test should be difficult, but if people are all getting C's and we passed the AP exam, but our GPAs are failing, so just like give us what grade, like tell us the ones we got wrong, but maybe curve the grade so our grade books aren't like that really sucks for you. Or like have some consistency, because our two AP World classes quite
I
different.
know, and everyone's getting mad about it, but like it's their teaching style. And like each person, like again, your class has the higher like test score grades.
Mhm. But also our grades in the class are worse because
Well, yeah, but also
so like that's affecting our GPA, not just an AP World exam. So like the consistent, I understand like you want to teach differently and that's cool, but when it gets to the point where people are like, my knowledge of this subject would be completely different. If everybody's taking English, they can, and one person leaves the class knowing how to write a killer thesis, and one of them leaves the same class, different teacher, knowing how to analyze through a historic lens. They're going to get to the next class, to like English 10, be in the same class, and be in completely different places. So maybe just talk with your fellow teachers and figure out.
they do talk. Like he was like, I want to do a DBQ, and she said no, so she gave you guys an LEQ and us a DBQ, and like they have the same total amount of points in the class. We get the same amount of points. She just grades harder, and that's like we get the same tests.
Mm-hmm.
And she teaches you guys way more in depth. So you guys get better test grades. And if they give the exact same written assignments and she just
I'm not saying it's like his fault.
Well, I know. I'm just saying there is consistency. That's just her opinion on grading.
I'm more talking about like English, or I don't know, like a different class where you're learning completely different things.
We learn the same things in English. We're doing the same things as like Saran.
Well, when
Okay,
I guess it's the different
still kind
schools
of
do it.
different though, because I guess I can see where Lauren's coming from, where it still can be kind of different. Where in one class, if you focus more on writing a good thesis rather than viewing things through a historical lens, I can see where you're gonna get to that and be in the same class next year, and you're both are gonna like have different ideas of what English 10 would be.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just don't think we can like make teachers be carbon copies of each other.
I don't think we should.
That's not
but
what
I
I'm
think we should
saying.
learn similar skills.
Well, there's like what you have to learn, and I think every teacher is trying to do that. But if Susie thinks this is a more important topic and John thinks this one's a more important topic, they're going to do what they personally think is better. And like, again, no school professor can like force them to not.
I don't know. That's just my opinion that we should learn. We should be given that, because if then one person knows how to write.
I get what you're saying, but there's no physical way to do it. Language teachers. I know you've been speaking this language for the past 40 years and teaching it for the past 20. We have learned it for a year, 2 years, or 3 years. Which, like, we also haven't been learning it consistently for a year. Like, nobody was doing Spanish over the summer unless they took Spanish over the summer. Like, I only learned the 180 days I'm in your class. I do not do any work outside of class, but that's homework. So, like, you can't get, like, super mad when, like, I'm not perfect at conjugating. And, like, language teachers think their class is super important. And, like, I know every teacher does. But to me, like, the outcome of my language class is, like, my least important class to me. Because every other class I have to do for the next 4 years. So I feel like you can't get super mad when I, like, don't know every single form of conjugation that I learned 2 months ago. Because, like, again, in your brain, this is easy because you've been doing it since 1920, but I've been doing it since 2020.
Isabella's like,
So, like, I
I'm
don't.
50 years old.
It's like, my gosh. So, like, I don't really know what to do because, like, there's so many other things I need to put in my brain. And, like, you think the Spanish word for flower is more important than, like, how to math. So, cut us some slack, please.
What's your
I think the school could like try to create ways to talk with the students about what kind of improvements they should make that actually do things.
like listening to this podcast episode.
Yeah,
We should
kids
send
need to
this
be on
to
the
Mr.
school
T.
board.
Or like maybe like actually pay attention to people in the student council. Get things done. Make a student council that would actually care.
Okay. Teachers. Actually, no. We're gonna talk to choir teachers for a second. Choir teachers, you should realize that not all of your students are white. Not all of your students can put their hair in a perfect half up, half down little ponytail situation. Not all of your students can wear skin colored tights, okay? You need to be racially equitable.
Okay. We are going to take it out. And we're going to say, check the description, do all the things. And guess what? You are 1 episode away from the end of season 2. So be on the lookout for some new fun episodes in season 3. And we will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.